it's better to just kind of pack up and move out of Dodge. You know, he makes a nice little living, you know, selling his wife and selling his. He told me personally he's been with over like 7.
Shots fired. All right, so we all know that Adam22 recently announced that No Jumper is losing money. Seeing he overspent on his business, he tried to expand too fast during COVID times, which, you know, a lot of businesses tried to do that, and a lot of them failed and didn't make it as far as No Jumper. Tasha K decided to clap back, and she says Adam's lying about his finances and why he has to sell that building. We're gonna get into that. You guys, I thought maybe a heavyweight bout was brewing between the two, so I had to break out the championship belt. But at the same time, I might just be reaching because I just wanted to bring out the belt. I wanted to bring out the belt. Guess what, guys? I have been looking online. I am looking to get either a UFC heavyweight championship belt to go in the back, or a WBC championship belt to go in the back. Now, in case you guys didn't know, I live in the same city as one-time champion Kelly Pavlik, right? There's a good chance I might be able to get him to sign it if I get a WBC belt, right? Or if I get a boxing belt, period. Whichever. You guys let me know down in the comment section which belt you guys want me to get to go along with the WWE belt, and I'm gonna go get that belt. But for now, let's go and look and see what Tasha K had to say about Adam22 in the whole No Jumper financial situation. Let's go.
So when he made his little video that you're about to watch, you know, and here's the thing, we talk all the time in the DM. We were just talking yesterday. I just felt like he's not saying everything. And so I decided to call one of my little LA connects to kind of fill in the holes. So we're going to hear what he had to say. We did post it on, you know, our social media sites, but I'm just going to fill in what I feel that he needs to really be telling y'all. But he ain't going to tell y'all because it's going to make him look weak. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Adam. Let him know.
So there's something that I've been hiding from you guys. No Jumper is going broke. I know that might sound crazy. Between both of our YouTube channels last month, we got over 25 million views. We're doing well on Facebook and Snapchat.
Yeesh.
We employ quite a
$100,000 a month? 100,000 plus. Think about that.
few of the hottest content creators on the West Coast, and we pump out an insane amount of content on a weekly basis. How could we be going broke? Well, let's start here. We expanded too much during COVID at just about the exact moment that our revenue streams all took a hit. We hired a whole bunch of editors and other employees, and we bought a huge office building that cost us almost $4 million, thinking that the growth that we were experiencing during the pandemic was going to continue. And unfortunately, that did not happen. Our YouTube numbers, which had doubled or even tripled, gradually returned to normal. Our Snapchat and Facebook numbers, which had exploded during COVID, sometimes even hitting six figures a month, shrank by about 80% or more. Our Patreon, which was absolutely killing it for a year or two when we were doing uncensored, aka nude interviews with up-and-coming superstars like Kazumi and Sky Bree, fell off quite a bit with the launch of Plug Talk and a decreased interest in seeing us interview stars. In addition to that, you might recall that the channel took quite a hit when approximately 8 of our hosts left the platform in March of 2023, although we've definitely largely recovered and managed to build.
Hey, that's wild though. That's wild. I think that's one of their most highly viewed videos, and that's probably where he got the idea to start going ahead and going with all this Jerry Springer type stuff. And honestly, that's probably where they messed up. Well, one of the ways they messed up. Another way was expanding during, you know, the vid. You know, everybody's numbers were inflated. I wasn't in the YouTube space at that time, but my actual career, I've seen a lot of people go through this.
Up a very healthy roster of talent since then. That certainly took a toll on our business for a while as well. All that stuff hurt the business, but we were still solidly profitable. That is, until the last few months, where we experienced 2 major L's that we never could have seen coming. First, we lost the No Jumper Instagram. After almost 10 years of building it up and essentially no strikes on our account, we got taken down one day and we still have absolutely no idea why. We've had no luck getting it back despite being in contact with what seems like every Instagram recovery guy on the face of the planet. We were bringing in a very solid amount of cash monthly that was keeping us afloat via selling sponsored posts on the account. and that mostly vanished overnight. And while we've been growing the new No Jumper LA account up ever since and managing to sell sponsored collab posts using my Instagram and the No Jumper LA account, DM or email if interested, we aren't making anywhere near as much from Instagram now. Side note, if you're a Meta rep, please DM me. I would love to speak to anyone who could help with this. And second, in addition to that, we have been hit with a bullshit lawsuit from a former employee. Now, essentially everything in this lawsuit is completely fictional, and every lawyer that I've spoken to about it has described this as basically an extortion attempt, but it's still cost us a ton of money already, and it's expected to cost us many hundreds of thousands of dollars to see this through to completion. It's insane to me that a person that we did so much for can just invent some grievances out of thin air and cost us this much money as a result. This person has literally lost every single friend that he used to have when he worked at No Jumper. His streaming career has completely tanked, and he even got kicked off the podcast that he left No Jumper to
Now, see this part right here, there was no, if you're going to put a PSA out there, there was no need for all. It comes off as whiny, right? You should just let this go ahead and play out in court. If what you're saying is true, then okay, you know, to play out in court. Actually, nobody even really cares about this lawsuit except for No Jumper, of course. You know what I mean?
start, but somehow that's our reality and we have to fight this rather than just give in to this piece of shit. So as a result of all these circumstances, we are making some changes. Over the last few months, we laid off multiple employees in an attempt to reduce our expenses as much as possible. We closed down our store on Melrose, and we're in the early stages of selling our current warehouse and moving into a smaller space. To be honest, aside from the layoffs, which sucked, I'm pretty happy about a lot of these changes. I've realized that I should have paid more attention to DJ Vlad and kept my overhead as low as possible,
Bingo.
Particularly in terms of staff and location.
Bingo.
I'm confident that once we get the building sold, we'll be in a pretty solid financial position again as a business. Oh, and I also just want to note that I am talking about No Jumper as a business. I've got another business in the form of Plug Talk, and I've got a pretty decent investment portfolio on a personal level. I mean, shit, I'm not $2 million in debt, and I never had to file for bankruptcy like T-Rell.
Really catty.
But I honestly...
That was really catty. That was really catty, bro.
Spend pretty much all of my time trying to create as much content as possible with No Jumper, and I can't really justify doing so unless the fundamentals of the business make sense.
The fact that you're able to go out and get a $4 million studio, black businesses don't even get approved for that type of loans. It just, I don't know. It feels like you've got an asset on your hands and you're trying to move these assets because you got a lot of lawsuits underway, okay? And you know, it takes money to keep money, okay? And so here's the thing. So I called up a little friend of mine that happens to work in, you know, the PD's office, LAPD.
Uh-oh.
And apparently Adam.
Uh-oh. Sorry, y'all. I was getting a little sidetrack. I was in the comment section of one of my other videos at the same time doing this because y'all know I be active in the comment section. So with that said, if you new to the channel and you have not subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon. That way YouTube notifies you every time I drop a new video.
He's not telling the whole story. Now, he is more than welcome to come on the platform and address it. You know, I just kind of felt like I wasn't going to get the entire truth because it's got to do with a lot of that RICO stuff that's going on with Big U and Whack 100 and all those guys. And so apparently he went from doing like, I guess just regular underground rapper content to now it's content to a night street beef. And then they come and talk on the platform about street beef. And then they carry out the street beef and then they use it to, you know, send shots at each other, sort of like what Vlad was doing for a while and then he stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because he was getting, you know, he was being called a fed and everything like that because they were asking to use his footage, even though he says he never gave them any footage. Okay, whatever. So that's what his platform evolved into, especially when he had linked with Whack 100, okay? And Whack 100 claims that he's, I guess, some type of set pyro. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't really live that lifestyle. I've never dealt with people that live that lifestyle. But here's what I'm being told is that Adam gotta go. And the platform has gotta go because the thing about it is, it's like, you know, it's caused so many disruptions in the community with them using his platform to ignite beef. And then they talk about the beef and then they send shots. they're going to be queuing all of that content to use to build a case on these people that they just recently arrested, Big U and all those people. And so in order for him to not be labeled a snitch, even though his content snitches and they were snitching on himself, it's better to just kind of pack up and move out of Dodge. You know, he makes a nice little living, you know, selling his wife and selling his penis.
Damn!
He told me personally he's been with over like 7.
Shots fired, bro. Shots fired. No, she said that he's selling Lena. And technically he isn't. She's selling herself. But listen, this makes complete sense. Okay, so where I'm from and where I grew up, we don't have traditional street gangs. What you have is cliques of dope boys who just want to protect their spots or whatever the fucking case is. You know what I'm saying? And some of them go out and go open up bars. And honestly, they be for young, you know, people of our color. And there always be some shit at these bars. They get closed down all the time as nuisance bars. Nuisance bars. The city council has a vote, closes that bar down. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. And it ain't just the D-boys doing that. Sometimes we have like in our city, there's like a family that owns a couple different bars. And there was a couple times they had the bright idea they wanted to do a little money grab and start attracting, you know, the dope boys and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And they did that. They overcharged for alcohol, bottles, and all that kind of shit because they knew their building was about to get condemned. It was going down. They wanted to get as much money out of it as possible. They got shut down as a nuisance bar. They didn't care. They paid their fine, and because they made way more money off of what they had to pay. You feel me? That's the same thing that's the same thing that she's saying is going on with Adam22 and No Jumper. How true it is, I'm not sure, but she does have a big following. I would imagine that she's credible besides the whole Cardi B thing. I don't know what all happened there, but I would imagine she's credible.
100 people. I was literally scared to even touch him.
I don't blame her.
Like that to me, that's very disgusting. And so
I don't blame her. I'm scared to step into the No Jumper building without catching an STD.
He's trying to get that mix before he gets labeled something that he doesn't want to get labeled, and then he really has to kind of look over his shoulders like this. Because they're going to be coming for his ass.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's already looking over his shoulders.
Cannon and all those guys that got locked up under this RICO charge under Big U, and they're slated to do Lil Baby here next. The reason they're slated to do Lil Baby, from what I'm hearing, is because Lil Baby is intertwined with Big U's organization. And so, yes, the talk of him catching a RICO is very, very real. And that's shocking to me because I really thought Lil Baby had like learned his lesson and was staying out of the streets and stuff. But apparently not. I just don't understand how you got this much money.
Now, that's interesting. I want to know how 4PF is intertwined with the Rolling 60 and Big U.
But it's just not enough. Why do you, if you fight so hard to get up out of a war zone, you know, like Dirk getting out of Chicago, Thug getting out of, the hood of Atlanta, like, they blessed you. Why do you keep going back? And then when you go back, they killing each other. And so this is what's happening. And so they're saying that his platform was used and will be used to put together the cases that they have on these men that they indicted. And so he's just basically trying to cut his losses now because it's going to go south. Either he could just walk away now and no one will know what footage was being used and things like that. Or, he can just kind of face his fate. But LA PD has had enough. They want him gone, and they want all them dudes that he employed gone. But he has something he can fall back on. He's not a street dude, but the black guys don't. Even though he was quote unquote saving them, Master was saving them. Yeah, they back in jail now. So this is what I'm being told by a very credible source that does work for the PD, and they want they want their streets cleaned up out there, and his podcast location is a problem. You saw Vlad got real quiet.
Now, I don't know where the location of their studio is, but y'all remember when Sharp and Spiffy Luciani shot their video? They did part of it in No Jumper's dumpster in the back parking lot, whatever. And it ended up being a whole thing. Like Adam22 was like No Jumper as a whole was getting complaints from their neighbors and stuff about that. That ended up being a whole thing, right? Am I right or wrong?
I don't know. It ain't my business, though. I'm just relaying a message, okay? Hold on for a second. Hold on. Okay. I'm not gonna say he's a DJ Vlad. That's not what I'm gonna say. That's not what I'm gonna say. What I'm gonna say is that when you're using your platform was used to bring up and coming rappers and people that wanted to break in the industry. How did it turn into street beef? Like, how did it flip? Why do you have Whack 100 on there? Like, what? Like, you got to understand, and who's snitching and telling everybody when they about to get a RICO, as if he goes and checks in at the federal office every day to come on the platform to tell everybody, yeah, it's your week, your month to get a RICO, your turn.
That's because he does go and check into the federal building every day. Because he's a Fed. He's a rat, right? Oh, he is a rat. Ratatouille. Nah, actually, you know what? I don't know if Whack is actually a rat or not. Well, I mean, he is a rat. I don't know if he's an actual Fed or not. Let's put it that way. You guys know what? Al Prophet actually had something to say about this too. So as a bonus, we're going to get into what he's talking about, and it was pretty interesting.
Happened. And Adam22 mentioned that he's been being sent videos. I guess he hasn't published them. He's been being sent videos of Big U and Eric Holder together.
Oh,
like during some fight or jumping on somebody. He was sort of briefly described it, but he received videos from people proving Eric Holder and Big U were around each other, and leading up to Nipsey's demise, which Eric with Big U, acts like he don't really, that he didn't have anything to do with Eric Holder. So that may come out too. If there's videos of them two together, the police are seeing them. I think that a lot of people are using these social media. They don't want to feel like they're snitching, but they feel people have done wrong stuff. I think the tables turned against Big U in the streets with the murder alleged. Well, the kid was murdered. Whether Big U did it or not is up for debate. But it seems like everybody turned against him. They wanted him gone. Like he went too far.
All right, so you guys heard it right there from Al Prophet. Adam22 had been saying that people were sending him videos of Eric Holder and Big U together prior to Nipsey Hussle's death. That's probably the real reason the FBI came to visit Adam. Because why would they go and get a cease and desist letter from him and it's online? They didn't need to go get it from Adam. All they wanted that footage though that he ain't put online. That makes sense. We'll see. Anyways, you guys, that's my video for today. If you guys are new to the channel and you made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon. That way YouTube notifies you every time I drop a new video. And when the video comes out, you guys, when you get that notification, watch the video. That helps the video get into the YouTube algorithm, and that helps the video get more views, okay? It helps it get more views faster, by the way, too. The other things you guys can do is smash the hell out of that like button and drop a quick comment. All of that helps the video get into the YouTube algorithm. All of that helps the video get more views, and it's completely free for you guys to do. Go ahead and support the channel. And if you guys want to go over and visit burbankclothing.com, fitted trucker's hat. It's your boy King Charm. I'm out this bitch. Peace.